Welcome back to the Daily Nugget. Daily property insights, one topic, 20 minutes or less, 7 days a week. Myself, Lotze, and joined by Tom Rawson, a real estate advisor. And Tom, the point in the topic for today is sort of in 2020 and 2021, when the property market was going crazy, we saw owners sort of going, hey, I wonder what I'll get for my property. Let me just reach out and see if someone would give me a ridiculous amount of money for my standard 3-bedroom or my family home or my section I have. But that's not sort of the way we see it at the moment. In 2022, it's more owners come into the market now and actually wanting to sell. Is that what you guys are seeing?
Yeah, mate. So over the last couple of years, it's like, hey, my neighbour sold for $1 million. If I could get 1.5, I'd let it go. And it's like, the most recent stat was the neighbour's house, which is really similar, and it sold for $1 million. The agent would dawdle in and go, oh, well, if it's there, we'll get it. We'll just take it to auction and see what happens. And so agents and owners and everyone was kind of like, oh, well, we'll see what happens. It's not like that this year. If you've been following the market, following any podcast, following the news, talking to your neighbour over the fence, anything, you'll have realised that we had a crazy market for the last 24 months. And if you wanted to speculate and take that opinion of, oh, if you can get me 50% more than probably what it's worth, of course I'll sell. Anyone would. And we had scenarios where it was like, neighbour sold for $1 million. You got them 1.5 because that's what they said they'd take. And then they're like, oh, nah, we don't actually want to sell. And it's like, what a wasted opportunity. Waste of everyone's time as well. The buyer that got to that level, the agents, everyone that came through the open homes. And so that was the crazy market of the last 2 years. Moving forward, it's a normal market. And so we're seeing people with genuine reasons to sell. People moving into Auckland, out of Auckland, people cashing up an investment property due to previous things you've talked about in your podcast in terms of, investment rules, etc. People retiring early. COVID's kind of pushed people down that path. People going and living at their batch and selling their Auckland property, whatever it may be, there's genuine reason. If you wanted a street record, well, that was last year. We've peaked last year. I seem to think it's probably September, October, somewhere around there that we've seemed to have peaked. And so people now have had 3-4 months of data to consider before they come to the market. And so that if you're going to see a property this weekend, there's not going to be 100 people there with our FOMO that we've experienced. You're going to go through, you're going to have more time to be able to talk to the agent. There's going to be a bit more space around you to view the property and kick the tires. And the owner, if you ask an agent, and I always do, hey, look, Lawrence, why are you selling? Or, hey, if you're the agent, Lawrence, hey, mate, why are the owners selling? Oh, they're just seeing what they can get. Would have been the honest response for the last 2 years, but they'll use something else, obviously, because that's a real turn-off to a buyer, isn't it? Oh, look, they just want to see if they can get 100 million for it. If they do, they'll sell. If they don't, they don't care. I'm standing here working for free anyway, so who cares? Nowadays, it's going to be, look, he's taken up a job opportunity in Palmerston North. They're moving at the end of April, so it's definitely for sale. Or they've just recently bought, so they're selling. Or whatever it may be, they're upsizing, downsizing. A lot of that we're seeing. One of the big things we're seeing is like people heading back into rest homes. Over the last couple of years, your elderly mother, you might have said, hey, look, stay in your house. We'll make sure that we can look after you, because you remember in the first lockdown, rest homes were a bit of an issue. Now people are selling up their parents' homes and putting them into aged care. So there's genuine reason there where they've waited the last couple of years. And yes, they probably could have got more in 2021 than they could in 2022. But that wasn't their motivator for sale. It was timing, hey, we weren't ready then. And so now they're ready now. And so owners are selling with intent. Also buyers, for any agents or home sellers that are listening to this, buyers have genuine intent too. It's been a crazy 2 years. A lot of people have been like, bugger it, I'm not going to buy. They've come back to the market because they know now they can buy with less competition from the developers and the investors, but they're also jumping over like 100 hurdles now where they didn't have to in the past. Everyone was using ATMs basically to buy properties or more properties, refinancing, and away they go, sell the car, sell the boat, whatever it may be. The buyers that are there now, they're getting building reports, they're getting valuations, they're spending a couple of grand before they can come and bid at the auction for your property.
Yep.
That's pretty good intent. I mean, you can't do that 10 times and be happy with yourself, can you? If you're spending $3,000 every property you go to and missing out, you'll be broke soon, you'll lose your deposit. So, yeah, the buyers have genuine intent too, mate.
Yeah, it's great to see that, since that means that a lot of the time that's spent in this game, let's call it the game within business, is not wasted. 2020 and 2021 of, let's see what I can do. The worst of all is the real estate agent spending all their time, the marketing, all the focus, just because the owner wanted to see what they could get up to, and then turning it down anyway. Because being offering what you thought you wanted to get is one thing, but then actually considering having to leave the property, buy somewhere else, and the market's hard anyway, so you're not going to get more, or what your life's going to do. So it's just pretty much a waste of time for for the agents that period. And bringing it back down to normality in 2022 will be great. So it'll just make the playing fields more time. Actually, owners wanting to sell, buyers wanting to buy. I mean, as you said, the big thing about buyers wanting to buy is that a lot of the rules and regulations that have been brought in means that if you're going to play the game to buy, you have to actually look to buy. You can't just come in and go, I'm interested, and I'm going to put in an application and hopefully it'll go through, and see if the bank doesn't say yay or nay. No, it's not that way. With the rules that's in place now, it's only a yay if you want to get into it. If you don't have maybe it'll make it, maybe it won't. From the bank's point of view, the new rules are pretty clear and cutting a lot of that grey area out of it as well. So it'll be good to see how the rest of 2022 goes for buyers that are selling, and how the market sort of stabilizes.
Yeah, that marginal stuff that you're touching on there, marginal lending, marginal buyers, marginal sellers is gone. That and it was a time waste. There were people coming to the market as sellers that pretended they were genuinely interested in selling and just wanted to see what they could get. And agents, especially the inexperienced ones, took it on. Oh well, we'll just see. If we can get them crazy money, they might sell. And that just did waste everyone's time. And people got frustrated. Buyers got frustrated. Sellers, they got annoyed with the open homes. It's like, well, you are trying to sell your house, aren't you? And so we had people going, oh, no, I don't even want any open homes. But if you can get me crazy money, I'll take it. So you're right. From a business point of view, it's willing buyer, willing seller, willing agent, and let's do a deal. And so 2022 is the year of the deal maker, rather than the order taker. And I've been pitching that to the team in terms of, make sure you've got genuine reasons to sell. Even last year, when we would run through our stock meetings, I'd be like, why are these guys selling? Oh, they're just cashing up, maybe, I don't know. And it's like, oh, great, how motivated are we to all see it or take buyers through it? This year, it's like, why are these guys selling? Oh, they're moving, job opportunity, or there's sad scenarios too, like they've lost their business over the last 2 years. It's just been crippling. They've got to sell. They're downsizing, etc., etc. So ask the reason as a buyer. But if you're a seller listening to this as well, make sure you give your agent a genuine reason that they can use too. And the agents that are listening to this also need to make sure that they get consent to advise people why you're selling. I mean, upsizing and downsizing was kind of the most common thing. But hey, look, they're moving out of town. They've bought, or they're moving up to Whangarei. Okay, cool. So they're actually selling. People like mortgagee sales and deceased estates, because they're selling. The mortgagee, the bank's selling. So of course it's, go along, have a look, have a good crack at it. This year is going to be much the same. People are on the market. They're wanting it sold. It's not a mortgagee. They've got genuine intent, and put your best foot forward. That's all I can say to buyers. Have a crack at it. Sellers, be realistic. These people have been through, as you say, a lot of hurdles to get there. It's painful getting pre-approved for finance at the moment. You've only got to listen to podcasts or read the Herald, or it's demoralizing for some. We've got people that have had their pre-approvals ripped off them after they've conditionally bought a property, after they've unconditionally bought a property. And so it's really tough on buyers, these new rules. But what do? You just got to work with both parties. And just remember, everyone's human. And communication really is the key in 2022.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that so much, Tom. And as always, for anyone that's got any questions or queries, just drop it in the comment section below, depending on where you're listening or watching. And for any topics you'd like us to cover, and we can cover off in another episode. But thanks for coming over to the Daily Nugget, Daily Property Insights, one topic, 20 minutes or less, 7 days a week, and hope to see you tomorrow.